beefing up your steering with brand new parts from SteerSmarts. Stay tuned. And welcome to the first video for the 2021 Giveaway Jeeps build series. We're going to be working on the 2020 Stingray Gladiator that we're building with all those cool overland products. But we're going to start out with steering mods. This Gladiator has the factory aluminum steering box, and we know that they flex under load, especially when you put bigger tires on it. So we're going to install a brand new product from SteerSmarts. This is the Yeti XD sector support and track bar reinforcement bracket. And yes, that sounds like a lot to say, but it's easy to install and it'll add some extra support to the factory steering box. So we need to start out by removing the track bar. Let me grab a couple tools and we will get right at it. The new SteerSmarts track bar bracket is going to go right underneath the 4 steering box bolts. To give us a little bit more room, we're going to pull the coil out of the way. Just grab a ratchet or a tie strap and anchor it to the frame and then just pull the coil spring out of the way. Gives us a little bit more room to get in and around those bolts. Probably the hardest part of this whole swap is getting the pitman arm nut off the factory steering box. It's a 43mm socket. You could also use an 1/11/16. The SteerSmarts kit comes with 6 new steering box bolts. If you have the steel steering box, you're going to use all 4 of the shorter ones. If you have the aluminum box, you're going to use 2 of the long ones and 2 of the shorter ones. Take your bolts, prep them by sliding on the split washer, then the flat washer. And the large flange nut and bolt is the new track bar bracket bolt. Remove the steering box bolts. Take your new SteerSmarts track bar brace, slide it in from underneath. And then use the new track bar bolt to hold it in place. Take the new steering box bolts, apply a little bit of blue Loctite to the threads, and you'll need to push up on the box. Now, if you have a diesel or Mojave Edition JT Gladiator, there'll be a little brace right down here and you'll need to trim that off to get the SteerSmarts bracket in place. If you have a steel steering box, you'll have a wire that comes down along the side here with a push pin that goes right into the side of the frame. You could re-drill it and push it into the SteerSmarts bracket, or you could re-drill the frame and push it into the frame. Next up is to install the new sector shaft nut. Get a little red Loctite in on the threads. Then install both of the large washers and then the nut. Throw a dab of anti-seize up on the new pitman arm nut. Then we're going to take the sector shaft brace and we need to turn it so the straight edge is towards the front of the vehicle and the angled edge is towards the back. And it helps to have a rubber mallet to just give it a couple of love taps. And then the 2 locating bolts that come in from the side, and of course we threw a little Loctite on them also. And the last piece to install is a snap ring on the bottom of the new pitman arm nut. This new kit from SteerSmarts serves two purposes. One, it reinforces the factory track bar bracket. Two, it adds a bearing support at the bottom of the sector shaft of the steering box, below the pitman arm, where you're going to see most of the load from steering big tires left and right. So there you have it, the new SteerSmarts Yeti XD sector shaft support and track bar reinforcement bracket. And yes, that is a lot to say, but it does a lot. It's going to help stiffen up that factory track bar bracket, and it's going to help limit deflection in your factory steering box, and both of those are good. Now, where can you get one for your JL or JT? Well, at Northridge 4x4, of course. Check the description box for a link to where you can get one for your Jeep, and then while you're down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, thanks, Northridge Nation.